finding excess hair in the shower drain, your hairbrush all scattered all over the pillow when you wake up in the morning? If you're worried about hair loss, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Dr. Chen. Welcome to the LUMEBOX channel where we share science-based information about red light therapy. And today I'm going to talk about hair loss. Did you know that the hair on your scalp is not static? They're all going through different phases of the hair follicle cycle. And we naturally lose about 50 to 100 hairs a day, but usually we don't notice because we're growing new hairs back at the same time. Hair loss becomes visible if we start to lose more than we're growing back. And by about age 50% of all men and women notice some type of hair thinning, which is anxiety provoking to say the least, especially for women. So let's look at hair cycle briefly. I know it's super sciencey, but it's relevant to what I'm going to be talking about later with solutions. Now, there are 4 phases to the hair follicle cycle. Number 1 is the anagen phase, which is the growth phase where the hair fiber is being formed and it starts growing. If you have healthy scalp, this is about 90% of the hair on your scalp. The second phase is the catagen phase. This is kind of like the transition phase where the hair follicle shrinks and hair growth actually slows down. This is kind of like the end of the life of that particular hair and the hair is preparing to shed itself. This is about 5% of the hair on your scalp. The third phase is the telogen phase. This is the resting or dormant phase where the hair is not doing very much and basically preparing itself to be shed. And the last phase, the fourth phase, is the estrogen phase where the hair actually sheds from the hair follicle. And this is usually happening when we're brushing or we're washing and where you're seeing it come out into the drain in your shower. Lose about 50 to 100 strands of these a day, but in the place of the hair that's been lost, we should be seeing new hair going into that anagen phase and growing back in that hair follicle. Where you will start to see thinning is if that's not happening or if you're actually losing more hair than normal. So more hair is going into that telogen phase. So if you're noticing huge clumps of hair coming out when you brush or wash your hair, this could be due to a number of reasons. Commonly hormones. So for example, hair loss is very common after childbirth, and this is due to the changes in estrogen, the female hormone. In the third trimester, women usually enjoy very lush and thick hair because of very high levels of estrogen, which prevents hair loss. But after childbirth, this estrogen level drops dramatically, and this pushes the hair follicles into the telogen resting phase. And shortly after that, hair starts to shed. This is why hair loss in the postpartum period is called telogen effluvium. It's actually normal and very common, and it's due to fluctuating hormones. Another hormone that can commonly affect hair is thyroid. If you're experiencing hair loss or hair thinning, nutrient deficiency is another major cause that you should think about with your doctor. Protein, iron, folate, B12, vitamin C's and D's are all very important in healthy hair. And if you're deficient in any of these, it could contribute to hair thinning. Stress is another very, very important one that people forget about. But in this video, I'm actually going to be focusing on one type of hair loss called androgenic alopecia or male pattern hair loss, because this is the type of hair loss where red light therapy has shown quite a bit of promise. Now, before I continue, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if you're actually enjoying this video so far. As the name suggests, androgenic alopecia is a type of hair loss related to androgens, male hormones. It is the most common cause of hair loss in men, affecting 30 to 50% of men by the age of 50, but it can also affect women as well. The hair loss pattern is recognizable. It usually starts at the hairline, particularly the temple, so you start to see receding hairlines here, and at the vertex at the top of the hair, creating this kind of receding hairline. For women, androgenic alopecia is usually focused on the top of the head and usually occurs around menopause. Now, why does this happen? Some people are genetically more susceptible to a type of testosterone called dihydrotestosterone. This is a more active form of the male hormone testosterone, which binds to receptors in the scalp and can lead to hair loss. Now, this is a type of hair loss where there are many treatments on the market like minoxidil, spironolactone that kind of block some of the action of the dihydrotestosterone, but they do come with side effects like impotence. So make sure to work with a doctor to find out what's best for you. And in this video, I want to highlight a new modality that has shown promise in this area, and that's red light therapy. The hypotheses behind why red light may slow hair loss is very interesting and complicated and include things like improving blood flow to the scalp. But there was a study on rats and cells in petri dishes that showed red light may promote the physiological transition between telogen to anagen phase. So remember back to when I was talking about the different phases of the hair follicle cycle? Red light in these studies have been shown to help transition the hair from that last phase, the telogen phase, where it's preparing to shed, to the anagen, the growth phase. There's also another really important cell to pay attention to called the bulge stem cells. These are really vital for hair regeneration and growth and play a key role in the hair cycle. And some scientists have speculated that red light therapy can stimulate the hair follicle stem cells in this region. Now, I know these are mechanistic studies, hypotheses, or studies done on rats and petri dish studies. Are there any actual human clinical trials using red light therapy showing that it can grow hair back in humans? And the answer is yes. There are some studies that use red lasers, some use LED-based technology, and some use both. And the general consensus is that light in the red range can actually promote healthier hair, especially in the case of androgenic alopecia. Let's have a look at some studies. So this 26-week, multi-center, randomized controlled, double-blind study was done using an LED helmet that delivered light in the red range. They looked at 81 subjects, both men and women, with androgenic alopecia aged 18 to 65, and they were randomly assigned to either the red light group or a sham group. They received 10 minutes of treatment per day for 26 weeks, and after 16 weeks, the people who used the red light device saw a mean change of 26.3 more hairs per centimeter squared compared to those participants who wore the sham helmet. And here's another study. They showed a significant increase in hair coverage after 24 weeks in this randomized double-blind trial of 100 patients, again with androgenic alopecia. So we're specifically talking about this type of hair loss. I'm not talking about nutrient deficiency or hormones. In this study, they received red light on one side of the head and sham light on the other side of the head for 30 minutes at a time, 3 times a week. I like this study because the subject acted like their own control. They received red light on one side and sham light or fake light on the other side. And they assessed hair coverage through photographs and phototrichogram, which is the gold standard methodology to measure improvements in hair density in clinical trials. They saw significant improvements from baseline in hair thickness and hair counts, both 12 and 24 weeks follow-up. In another randomized double-blind sham device control trial, they had 40 people receive either red light or sham helmet. So either red light or a fake light. They used the helmet for 24 weeks and they observed a significant increase in hair density when red light was applied. So why would you choose a helmet versus a box device like this? A helmet may be helpful if you have hair loss everywhere, and that's difficult to kind of target if you just have a box. But if you only have a patch of hair loss where you need targeted treatment, then a box like this could be very helpful. The advantage to having a box like this is that this can be used for joints, muscles, for your face. It's not limited to just scalp. Whereas if you purchase a helmet, it really can only be used for your scalp. And also the helmets can be very expensive. It runs between $500 to $1,000 for LED-based devices. And if you want a laser-based helmet, they run upwards of $1,000. Not all red light devices are made the same. They come with different wavelengths. They come with different irradiances. It's really important to do your homework and pick the best one for your indication. And the design of the device is going to depend on what you want out of the device. If you want something very versatile that you can use for multiple different purposes and different parts of the body, then a box like this would be great. But if you only want one indication, which is your hair, and you have diffuse hair loss everywhere, then helmet may be best. If you need more information on red light therapy and to avoid the mistakes that people make when using red light therapy, make sure to grab our free guide linked in the caption below. And remember to hit that subscribe button to receive more science-based information like this to help you on your health journey. Thank you for watching.